now.
Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
Calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels now. Calling all angels now. Calling all you angels.
Well, isn't this an amazing, amazing event? Hi, everybody. I'm an addict and alcoholic. My name's John, alongside
Joy.
Joy.
I'm an alcoholic.
We're doing our first remote broadcast, and thanks to our executive producer, Mark Santora, this is working out really well. We can actually, Joy and I can actually see each other. See that, Joy? This is what
cute.
everybody on YouTube is seeing right now.
We got the
I think
face
that's an
for radio.
amazing thing. So, first of all, we are Rated R for Recovery in conjunction with Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Joy, what is Rated R for Recovery?
I'm so glad you asked. Rated R for Recovery is a recovery-based, faith-driven program bringing hope, healing, and restoration to individuals and families impacted by addiction. Through interviews, sharing information, and entertainment, we strive to be a catalyst for change for all who wish to recover.
Very
That's
good.
a lot.
Okay, now, and Kimmy's Recovery Zone empowers and saves our community, and serves our community, rather, by providing multiple pathways of recovery, support, designing wellness plans, public education, advocacy, thank you, policies, and resources to increase the quality of long-term recovery from mental health and substance abuse disorders. Now, Party in the Park, this is what it is right here, Joy. What is it? What's this month?
This is National Recovery Month.
So every person, every family, every community can take part in this. Isn't this wonderful? So we are broadcasting live. We always broadcast live, but we're doing our first remote from Collaboratory in downtown Fort Myers, located at the corner of Jackson Street and Martin Luther King Boulevard. So we would like you to come down and check us out.
Yeah, come on down. I don't care where you are.
Now, see, your donations are going to help continue this mission, so please look at the wonderful raffle tickets that are going around the room today. You can also check out Kimmy's Recovery Zone, and I believe you can donate on the website. And we're going to have a lot of interviews. And before we do that, let's thank our sponsors real quick, because we need to acknowledge them.
And a lot of them are here today.
Yes. Well, first of all, JCI Solutions, painting contractors. The next one, what else do we got, Joy?
Next step.
Right, and that's a dual diagnosis treatment facility in Fort Myers and Naples. Brian Edwards, who is a criminal defense attorney.
Attorney at law.
Yes, right. Shamrock Bail Bonds.
Just in case you need a bailout.
Exactly. Phoenix House, a great sober recovery house. We also acknowledge Celebrate Recovery. Our newest sponsor is White Sands.
White Sands Treatment Center.
And, of course, our partner in crime is Kimmy's Recovery Zone. So that is that. Now, we're going to have interviews from all sorts of different people, places, and things.
I heard the mayor is here.
I think I can see the mayor over there. If somebody could bring the mayor to us, I don't. And there's a whole bunch of people here.
He will shortly.
Yeah. Well. So anyway, so we are once again. We're inviting you all. As I text our one of our producers here.
Larry's here.
So, what now?
Larry
is here. Hi, Larry.
Oh, I can see your bum.
Yes, everybody can see Larry's bum because he's standing in front of the camera. Very good. All right, so that's good. Okay, so let me see. All right, so Eileen Kay is our one of our assistant producers here, and ladies and gentlemen, we do a podcast, Rated R for Recovery, every Thursday night, starting at 7 p.m. at Grace United Methodist Church, or just Grace Church at the corner of Edison and Grand in Fort Myers.
Like it or not, we're there every week.
Absolutely. And you're welcome to come down and be part of our studio audience. You can always watch us online at our YouTube channel. Just Google the Rated R for Recovery on the YouTube. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure.
That sounds good to me.
So do these ladies next to us want to come over and talk to us now?
I don't know. I'll ask them if you chatter on about something else.
Okay, I can talk till the cows come home.
know
So
you can.
what we do is we talk about recovery mainly from drugs and alcohol, but recovery comes in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And last week or last Thursday, we had a very special show on September 11th because it was the 24th anniversary of the attacks on our country in New York City. So that's that. Right now, young lady, what is your name? All right, Kelsey, hold on. We got to get you up. Say that again, please.
Hi, my name is Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey. Kelsey, you represent Crisis Prevention and Empowerment. Is that correct?
I am. I'm here to represent CPE, Crisis Prevention and Empowerment.
And what is CPE?
Perfect. So CPE is a local nonprofit in the community. We offer a 24-hour, 7 days a week hotline number for mental health. Our whole goal is to reduce the number of bake racks in the community through de-escalation, which we currently are running a 93% succession here in the counties that we cover. So it's always just a matter of somebody being able to call the number just to talk about anything that's causing harm.
And so it's 5 counties.
Yes, ma'am. It's 5 counties. So it's Lee, Collier, Hendry, Glades, and Charlotte County.
And you've been going since when?
Yeah, so we've been going since 2019. All of our services are free in the community. If somebody is having those suicide or homicidal ideations, we have 60 minutes or less to respond to their location anywhere that they're at. If that's at home, 75, OBGYNs, churches, anywhere that they feel comfortable is our whole goal. But then we also have those free services to act as those support systems too as well. If it's case managing to help break down any stress barriers, if that's food, if it's housing, if it's anything else, those Maslow hierarchy of needs. Because if you're in survival mode, that's what you're going to focus on, right? You're not going to focus on your mental health. And then we also have peer specialists on our team too as well. They're able to go in and out of schools, churches, homes, anything else like that, just to kind of meet them where they're at, to try to give them the tools in their tool belt that they just might not know or have.
And I got to tell you, I've lived here since 1990, and I didn't know about this at all until today at Kimmy's Party in the Park. How long have you been coming to Kimmy's every year?
Yeah, so I've been in this nonprofit realm for about 3 years. I actually met Kimmy's Recovery during Hurricane Ian time. I was helping with a project that was first hand walking door to door, checking in on individuals after Hurricane Ian and to offer resources and sources. And then I came across Al and Heidi, and they're phenomenal what their resources were. So we were able to help connect a lot of people to their resource too as well.
So how do I reach you?
So you're able to call the hotline number at any time. The number is 844-395-4432.
Are you online?
So we are online. You can look us up on the Center for Progress and Excellence on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anything like that. We're on there. But if you guys even just, you need to talk to anybody. That's the biggest thing. Even if it's just a talk. If you're having panic attacks, depression, anxiety, maybe you just need to kind of cycle through these emotions, please always call that number. Even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's somebody live on that phone and willing to help and to connect you.
And I found out that these people are not volunteers; that they are actually paid employees that will come and work with you until you can get some help.
Yeah, so there's about 50 of us paid staff on our team as well that are willing to come out and help at any time. We have bilingual and trilingual speakers on our team as well too, so we can help anybody that comes our way.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
Kelsey, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
That's
All right,
CPE.
all right. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're listening to Rated R for Recovery. That's ratedrforrecovery.com, along with Kimmy's Recovery Zone, as we broadcast our first live remote from Party in the Park, which is National Recovery Month. And right now we're going to introduce our next guest, and this is the mayor of Fort Myers. His name is Kevin Anderson, the Honorable Kevin Anderson. Kevin, welcome to the show, everybody. All right.
Glad to be here.
Very
We're
good.
so used to having an audience clap, and then I
know.
want to clap.
Yeah, but it's we got an audience of one now. Anyway, so Kevin, what brings you to Party in the Park?
I've been a big supporter of Kimmy's Recovery Zone. They do such great work in our community. So every year, I'm here.
Kevin, what is your affiliation or your attraction to helping people in recovery?
Well, I spent 27 years in law enforcement before going in the private sector and then getting into politics. So I know the need that's out there. And I know how devastating addiction issues are to a community, how difficult, how challenging it is for recovery for people. So my approach is whatever I can do to help organizations, help people through recovery. Everybody likes to look to government to solve problems, social problems especially.
Yeah.
We don't have the bandwidth. We don't have the wherewithal. So we're thankful that we have so many organizations in our community like Kimmy's that step in to fill that gap and help.
Absolutely.
So many of them are here today.
Yes.
And I know that you have been a proponent to help bring all these people together, and that especially over the last 10 years, this community is coming together in massive ways.
Yeah, and you know what? Another sad fact, and Mayor, you can attest to this too. That everybody, if you ask anybody if they have anybody in their life, whether it be a family member, or coworker, or a neighbor that's been affected by drugs and alcohol, everybody says yes.
Oh, there's nobody. You can't find a single person who has not been affected, whether it's themselves, a loved one, a neighbor, a coworker. And it's sad that there's that much of it out there.
And how did you meet Al and Heidi? By the way, for those of you listening at home, Al Kinkle is the founder of Kimmy's Recovery Zone, named after his daughter, Kimmy, who passed away from an overdose. And Heidi runs everything. She's the chief operating officer. How did you come in contact with Kimmy's in the first place?
That's a good question. And I'm going to plead the fifth here because I got my first Social Security check last month. And I don't recall things as easy as I used to.
Join the club. Join the club.
I think, if I remember correctly, it was at some event, and I believe it had to do with Barbara's friends.
Uh-huh.
And Al, Al has got that personality that he's like a magnet.
Yep.
He's like a magnet, and he's dogged in his pursuit.
Sure he does. Sure he does.
And the passion, I mean, you can't measure his level of passion.
No, absolutely.
Through the roof.
No, and there's such a difference between trying to get people to do things and having a passion for recovery and for all the positive aspects.
Very good.
That attracts people.
Our community is very fortunate to have people like Al and to have all these different organizations. We actually have a very caring and giving community.
We do.
Well, Your Honor, this time, Joy and I would like to make a personal invitation for you to come on our show some Thursday night. We broadcast every Thursday night at 7 p.m. from Grace Church at the corner of Edison and Grand in Fort Myers, and we have a studio audience, so we'd love to have you on sometime. Would you be willing to do that, sir?
Oh, absolutely. I've made it a cornerstone of my career to be accessible, responsive, and transparent. And I think the people deserve that.
Joy, I run into the mayor all the time, and usually it's at classic rock shows when
Really?
oh yeah, he's a big fan. He's a big fan.
I thought it was a drug court thing.
That was back in the day.
I know.
Very good.
They don't make music like they did in the 70s.
That's right.
You're absolutely right, sir. So I want you to thank you for taking the time to come and sit with us.
Is there anything?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the mayor of Fort Myers, Kevin Anderson, giving us a little bit of his experience with.
Thank you, Mr.
recovery.
Anderson.
Nick, we got another guest here, Joy.
Oh, look who's here. It's Lance.
Okay.
Hey guys,
sir,
how are you?
Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience and tell
Hi,
us what you
I'm
do?
Lance Franklin,
And
with Business Development Rep with Banyan Treatment Centers.
what is that?
So Banyan, we are a full continuum detox, residential, PHP, IOP, mental health, substance use program. We have multiple locations all across Florida. Our closest one's in Sebring, about an hour and a half away.
Your closest inpatient.
Inpatient.
Do you have outpatient services here in Fort Myers?
We do not.
Oh, not yet.
In Fort Myers.
Okay.
No, we do not.
How does somebody get into your facility if they're struggling?
So they just can give me a call on my cell or send me an email, and I can take it from there. All I really need is name, date of birth, insurance information, and I can kind of take it from there.
Very good. So why don't you give us that information right now so people know?
So phone number is 239-896-4392, and my email is lance.franklin@banyancenters.com.
And so you're in Sebring. Where else do you have inpatient?
So we also have locations in Stewart, Pompano, Boca, Gulf Breeze up in the Panhandle. And we're opening a new one in Tampa, a dually licensed program for mental health and substance use next
Nice.
month. So.
Okay.
Very good, very good. So, Lance, how did you get into this field, this line of work?
Oh, well, I'm a person in recovery as well. About 12 years ago, I started attempting to get sober. Started going to AA meetings and trying to get my life straightened out. And I met some folks in the rooms, and they kind of, this job found me. They came to me and like, hey, man, we think you'd be really good working as a marketer for our treatment center.
All right.
I was like, what is that? And so that's when everything kind of opened up for me and kind of fell into this.
You've got some really good information to give out, and I need you to talk into the microphone so everybody can hear you at home. And that would be a great thing.
I'm trying
right there.
to. Am I close enough?
That's, you're fine. Just into the. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, very good. All right. So anyway, Lance, anything else that you want to tell our listeners at home?
Well, I just want to, give props to Kimmy's Recovery Zone, Alan, Heidi, and the whole team. I mean, before these guys came around and before we started this thing, this community was pretty isolated.
Yes.
Everybody was siloed, and with Kimmy's and the RCO starting here in this town, everybody came together. Everybody started working to get closely together.
What's RCO?
Recovery Community Organization.
Yes,
which
very
is what
good.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone is for our community. So just seeing the community come together and collaborate for this mission is amazing. So just grateful to be a part of it.
Well, Lance, I want to thank you for taking your time to come on and give us a little bit of information on what you do. It's a very exciting event, and thanks again.
And Banyan has a table here too, as
yeah,
well as
good
many other
question.
people.
Yes,
So come
Joy.
check it out.
Yeah, very good.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Once
it.
again, we're broadcasting. Yes, give them a nice round of applause, a smattering of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, we're doing our first remote broadcast, Joy, and from Collaboratory at the corner of Jackson and MLK. By the way, for those of you listening in Europe or some place that's outside of the country or outside of the state of Florida or outside of Lee County, you can watch us on YouTube. And we broadcast from Fort Myers, Florida, every Thursday night. Our next guest is a long-term acquaintance of mine, friend of mine, actually. I'd say friend. This is Todd representing. What are you representing, Todd?
I'm here for representing Cocaine Anonymous.
And what is Cocaine Anonymous?
Cocaine Anonymous is an abstinent 12-step fellowship.
And what do you mean by that? When you say abstinent, what makes it different from Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, or what makes it different from that?
Not too different from the other fellowships. A little more different than Narcotics Anonymous because we share the same book as Alcoholics Anonymous. Just early on in the book, it calls for abstinence before we make a beginning.
Okay, and for the listeners at home that might not know what total abstinence is, please describe that.
Well, Cocaine Anonymous is a fellowship that helps those from any and all mood and mind altering substances, and the idea isn't to get involved into prescription drugs or anything given by the doctor, but just mainly we like to deal with narcotics that are on the street and stuff.
Well, you just said something that was very interesting to me that I've never heard before, and that was mood or mind-altering substances. While caffeine and nicotine are mood-altering substances, do we have to abstain from those as well?
I think the level of abstinence is up to the person that is involved, and I think the most important thing is that we get a sponsor when we come to the fellowship, somebody who's been through the 12 steps and that can get personal with these people and figure that kind of stuff out for the individual, just like their conception of a higher power is also between them and that higher power.
Yeah, it's like if it's a problem for you, it's a problem.
Exactly.
Very good, Joy. Yes, absolutely. All right, so we have to switch. We're about to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we've got other guests lined up. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery, Kimmy's Recovery Zone Party in the Park, broadcasting live. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Todd.
You're welcome.
Rated R for Recovery welcomes you into the audience where community meets recovery and every seat has a story. This is more than a podcast. It's a platform for purpose. A powerful, faith-fueled experience that brings hope, healing, and restoration to those battling addiction and to the families who love them through honest conversations, uplifting stories, and a touch of entertainment. We're helping people rise. Watch full episodes on YouTube or stream the podcast anytime at podcastplayground.com. Whether you're in recovery, thinking about it, or standing by someone who is. Rated R for Recovery in Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Raw, real, and full of redemption. Stay strong. Stay sober.
You wanted to be a criminal.
Well, it just kind of came natural, and I liked it. And I wasn't about the women, and I wasn't about the cars, and I wasn't about anything like that.
So you start car hopping, storage hopping, house hopping, and then you leave your hometown?
I go to the Rocky Mountains because they're not looking for me there. I took my brand new wife there, and we had a son in 1982, and then I did lose her and him.
What do you mean you lost them?
I mean, I pushed them away. You know, the only thing that's important to me is to get a little messed up as much as I can from morning to night and pass out and start all over again. And so I'm doing that. And I was in a nomadic lifestyle out in the Rocky Mountains, and it was really kind of cool. But I pushed this young girl away. She was probably 20, 21 when she left, and she took my son, and it was devastating.
Rated R for Recovery welcomes you into the audience where community meets recovery and every seat has a story. This is more than a podcast. It's a platform for purpose. A powerful, faith-fueled experience that brings hope, healing, and restoration to those battling addiction and to the families who love them through honest conversations, uplifting stories, and a touch of entertainment. We're helping people rise. Watch full episodes on YouTube or stream the podcast anytime at podcastplayground.com. Whether you're in recovery, thinking about it, or standing by someone who is. Rated R for Recovery in Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Raw, real, and full of redemption. Stay strong. Stay sober.
It got to the point where I was doing much harder drugs. Percocet 30 was $25, and you're gonna have some guy that tells you, hey, a bag of heroin's $5. You're sick and you got $20, you can get 4 bags of heroin, or you can't even get a pill. So I progressed onto that, and I'm at a point where my mother loved me so much, but she wasn't able to see me killing myself anymore. So she kicked me out of the house. I was like, all right, I got my car, and there was a bed made up in my back seat. And then there was like gift cards, and I recognized that as being such a hard decision that she had to make, where she felt that she had to take care of me while still putting me out on the street. And I don't wish that for any parent.
Rated R for Recovery welcomes you into the audience where community meets recovery and every seat has a story. This is more than a podcast. It's a platform for purpose. A powerful, faith-fueled experience that brings hope, healing, and restoration to those battling addiction and to the families who love them through honest conversations, uplifting stories, and a touch of entertainment. We're helping people rise. Watch full episodes on YouTube or stream the podcast anytime at podcastplayground.com. Whether you're in recovery, thinking about it, or standing by someone who is. Rated R for Recovery in Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Raw, real, and full of redemption. Stay strong. Stay sober.
Whenever we would fight, it'd leave and go to the bar and not come home until 4 or 5 in the morning whenever the sun was coming up, basically. And so he said, take your daughter so that you come home. And so I took my daughter to the drug dealer's house, and he had slipped me something in my soda, and I woke up to him hours later on top of me trying to me. So I got my daughter, I ran out of the house. It was raining. I drove a Dodge Durango that had very bare tires, and so I got lost in a neighborhood, and I went around a curve going probably about 10 miles an hour, but I slid into a culvert and I overextended my wheel, and so I hit a mailbox and then went into the culvert and hit a light pole. I could not get back out, and so the cops were called, and I got my second DUI, and DCF became involved.
Took your daughter? Yeah. Okay, so how old was she?
She was 2.
Rated R for Recovery welcomes you into the audience where community meets recovery and every seat has a story. This is more than a podcast. It's a platform for purpose. A powerful, faith-fueled experience that brings hope, healing, and restoration to those battling addiction and to the families who love them through honest conversations, uplifting stories, and a touch of entertainment. We're helping people rise. Watch full episodes on YouTube or stream the podcast anytime at podcastplayground.com. Whether you're in recovery, thinking about it, or standing by someone who is, Rated R for Recovery and Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Raw, real, and full of redemption. Stay strong. Stay sober.
My name is Mark. I'm an alcoholic.
Dorothy T., and I am an alcoholic.
I'm an alcoholic. My name is Victoria.
My journey in AA started years ago when I reached the outside limits of my desperation.
And then these people, just gathered around me. That was the fellowship in action.
If I carry any sort of message with my story, it's that, keep coming back and that this thing does work.
If you have a problem with alcohol, contact AA. It works.
To find out more about Alcoholics Anonymous locally, visit leecountyaa.org or call our 24-hour helpline at 239-275-5111.
If alcohol builds a wall around you, know this. We're here to help if you want us to. It's never too early or too late to ask for help with a drinking problem. Alcoholics Anonymous. There is a way out.
To find out more about Alcoholics Anonymous locally, visit leecountyaa.org or call our 24-hour helpline at 239-275-5111.
The first step towards solving any problem is admitting there is a problem. We can recover. Cocaine Anonymous. We're here, and we're free.
To find out more about Cocaine Anonymous locally, visit caflorida.org or call our hotline at 866-819-5346.
Lunch, dinner, dessert, breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, dinner, breakfast. Time to change your diet? There is a solution. Contact Cocaine Anonymous.
To find out more about Cocaine Anonymous locally, visit caflorida.org or call our hotline at 866-819-5346.
Are you addicted to drugs? Narcotics Anonymous can help. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. We are not interested in what or how much you used, what you have done in the past, but only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. If you are like us, you know that 1 is too many and 1,000 never enough. Find a new way to live. Visit us at na.org today.
To find out more about Narcotics Anonymous locally, visit nagulfcoastfla.org or call our hotline at 866-389-1344.
I have a nephew who I love so much. And I'm thinking, how can this be? And yet he's telling me he's going to overdose and kill himself.
I went to my first party and I had a bottle of Bacardi sour apple or something in my hand, and I walked into this party like I was holding the Heisman Trophy. I felt like I had arrived, and that was the moment where I was kind of like, this is it, like I'm the party girl.
And I found him in the back of a park, just slumped over with the needle in him. He was so out of it. I thought he was dead actually, but he had a pulse.
And being around people that were partying, that were my age, and I really just thought that, I was doing what kids my age were supposed to be doing. But the difference was that I was doing it every night, and I was a blackout drinker.
I woke up immediately thinking about drugs, right? I had injured my neck and doctors started prescribing me a bunch of medications. Sooner or later that medication ran out. And it ran out faster than it should have because as it says on that little bottle, it says every 4 hours or as needed for pain. Well, I was always in pain, so I just kept taking it.
I was completely lost, I'd lived a life, kind of living a double life, trying to hide the drug and alcohol use from my friends, family, wife.
I wanted so badly to change what was happening up here. I didn't want to keep chasing it, but instead I was robbing, I was lying, and I was cheating people in order to get what I wanted because in my brain I had no idea how to do anything else.
And as my career advanced, so did my drinking and drugging. And at one point, I honestly thought that I was the king of the world. And I think what caused me to deny it was the fact that I had tried to quit and I failed. And I tried again and I failed, and again and again and again.
I have a son who, Eagle Scout engineer, made it through college by the grace of God, who got addicted to heroin. What's really sad is, as a nurse of 34 years, I knew nothing about addiction as a disease.
And the one thing that changed it all for me was advocating for recovery, helping fight that stigma that we often see or hear about what a person who is an addict looks like, right? Because in all reality, it looks like all of us. It doesn't have a face, it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a profession. Addiction or substance use disorder will take anybody at any time.
My daughter, Kimmy, she had an addiction problem that lasted about 20 years. But the beginning of it was when she was around 9 years old, and she had a bad experience in our neighborhood. And we did not know about that until she was 15. And by that time, she already was into drugs, started around 13 years old.
She was my right-hand man. She led me through school, she looked after me, she was almost a big brother. Instead of saying big sister, she was my best friend. By the time I was 24, I found out she was doing heroin. And that's when I said to her, I said, Kim, I've been with you my whole life. You don't do this. Until one day, I walked into her room and she was blue. And her boyfriend was sitting next to her, allowing her to lay there basically dead. And so I walked in the room and I said, what's wrong with Kim? And that's when I looked at her lips and they were blue. And I looked at her boyfriend and I said, what's going on? He said, oh, she's just taking a nap. She just passed out. And so I picked her up and I threw her in my car and I drove over to Health Park Hospital. And they said if you waited any longer, she wouldn't be here anymore. And they were able to revive her. That happened 3 times with me.
I talked to her the night before I was to pick her up, and I talked to her at 1:30 in the morning. I said, Kimmy, are you okay? She said, yeah, Dad, I'm fine. And I said, well, I can't pick you up tomorrow, I'll pick you up Saturday. I have a Christmas party for kids with cancer at the hospital. And I got a call at 9 o'clock in the morning that she had overdosed. By then, they had brought her to the hospital. She was on life support for 6 days, and that was in December. And December 16th, after 6 days on life support, she passed on.
That tragedy has driven us to be more laser focused, to work as a team together, and it has really given us a tremendous boost of energy to make certain that we change lives and prevent that from happening again. So I implemented a program again. There's a lot of different initiatives that I have as the sheriff, and it's going to touch on two different parts. First, unfortunately, Florida ranked, I think, number 49 out of 50 for mental health and how we help the people with mental illness. We all know that most times, jail is not the right place for someone that's mentally ill. And we have to do better, not only in this county, but in the state and in the country. There are veterans with PTSD that are mentally ill. There are some amazing people out there that have serious problems with mental illness and they're not being helped.
Prior to me getting into recovery, I had no clue on where to go or what to do. So yeah, these folks that are looking for treatment, that are suffering from mental health and substance abuse, there's no real direction. I ended up in a church talking to a pastor because I didn't know where to go.
At her funeral, I made a commitment and a promise that I would do everything to help other families so that they wouldn't feel the pain and suffering that our family felt. And I was looking for a place for Kimmy. There was no one place to go to find any information. You were told to go here, go over there, go there. I was all over. I was in Miami, I was in California, I was in Palm Beach. So you want to, the zone I think will have an offering of one place where you can go and find multiple pathways to recovery and support.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone, the vision is to bring all of those resources together into one place and be able to make connections for people. And I really think that's the most important piece to recovery, is helping people make connections so that they have the resilience and the strength to stay sober.
Kimmy's Recovery Zone is a wonderful resource that I'm able to use. One of the main problems that we have in courts where we deal with people with mental health and substance abuse issues is finding things for them to do. And Kimmy's Recovery Zone enables us to send them someplace where it's a safe place for them to be. They have the resources they need to deal with the problems. They have recovery classes that they can meet people who have the same issues they have, who are doing well. But it's also a place that can help coordinate the services they need to get the treatment they need.
And anything that Al can do as far as families, individuals, where to go, how to get the help they need. I mean, if I would have known Kimmy's Recovery Zone existed, and I could have called them the day I suspected something was wrong with my son, and to have someone sit down with me, hear my story, and tell me, you're not crazy. Let's dig deeper. Let's find out what's going on with your son, and let's help you. And that's the first step for any parent, is take care of yourself first.
Being a mother of an addict, I had to get my own help in Codependence Anonymous, and I had to learn to do the tough love thing with her.
So I met Al and we just started talking about it. And once that happens to you, your own family, it's something you never forget. I'll never ever forget seeing my nephew just crunched over in like a ball with a needle sticking out. I'll never forget that. So it's something Al and I bonded on. We have to do something. We have to get awareness out so that people don't blame themselves for not seeing what happened.
Not to mention the stigma associated with drugs and alcohol. People with drugs and alcohol, they're not bad people trying to get better. They're sick people trying to get well. And that's the difference. They're not bad people. We're good people, but we have a disease. And it's a disease of our mind, of our brain.
But I would say to the nurses, these people need help too. Why are you so angry with them? And some of the nurses said, look, I live with a husband like this. You know, I have to come to work and deal with it now. So they were a little bit too close to home sometimes, and it was affecting them in the way they were dealing with these people. They were giving them an attitude.
What Al is doing in this community is clearly complementary to what's going on throughout the healthcare community, because what they're providing is a place for folks to be in recovery, which is such a critical part. Knowing what the relapse rate is for opioid addiction and for any addiction actually, it provides that place of stability where they can maintain their recovery status, their sober status, and actually get better and beat this.
For me, my life is now built on passion, drive, and helping others. And when you put that trifecta together, I get goosebumps. You can't see them right now, but that's what drives change, right? Like, that's what makes people want to make change, is passion, is driving something bigger than yourself to make a greater impact than we could ever imagine, right? We're not talking about just like creating a charity and gathering donations. We're talking about leaving a legacy, right? For other people, other organizations to be a part of, all inclusive, just one. And so as I sat down in front of him and these are the details he's giving me, yeah, it's hard not to get worked up about what, you know, Al Kinkle's vision is with Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Definitely. So when you talk about the way God speaks to me, he put me down in front of a chair and made me listen. And I opened my ears and said, thank God.
Definitely support Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Addiction is real. It can happen to anyone at any time. Get the blinders off. Don't sit there and say, oh no, not my child or not my significant other, because any day it could be you.
With Kimmy's Recovery Zone, it gives us that continuum of care that we desperately need. We don't recover in 30 days. We recover over a lifetime. We don't recover in a treatment facility. We don't recover in jail. We recover in our community. We recover in our churches. We recover where we work. And Kimmy's Recovery Zone is a program that will help people in recovery, run by people in recovery.
Inside, I'm crying. I'm in tears because I've lost my sister. But the real feeling I get from this is joy. I get joy out of knowing that my sister's name is going to save other people's lives.
So having a place like Kimmy's Recovery Zone, I think, is so important. It's so important for people to not only come to a place where there's multiple pathways of recovery under one roof, but a place where you could literally walk through the doors and say, I need help, and you can get it.
The hardest thing today is to get support and services for people that are suffering so badly with mental health and substance use disorder. And our goal is to bring that to the forefront.
Recognizing the work that Kimmy's is doing is one small way of saying we know what we're about in this town. Recognize them and make it official. It's a city government, it's a government that's saying good job. It's not just the Employee of the Month award. This is an official act of appreciation for the services they provide and the awareness that they promote.
I think we're looking at a trifecta here. We're looking at the homeless, hunger, and addiction. And we're looking to put a big emphasis on the three of them because they're interconnected. So if we can make that a little bit easier on people, give them a place to go, food to eat, and a program that will keep them in long-term recovery, I think that's one way we can really make a difference here in this community.
We work with addiction centers to help a lot of the people that are struggling with addiction, to provide them the resources, because it's trying to get them back on track and trying to get them to understand that, you know, because you were addicted at one point doesn't mean you have to be addicted, and the food bank is there to lift these people up and to make sure that they have the resources going forward and are able to really have somewhere to rely on while they're going through programs and they're getting back on their feet.
So there's a great need for wraparound services that looks at these individuals and these families and say, how can we collectively solve this problem by supporting you with housing resources, food resources, mental health, behavioral health resources. It's a hand up to make this person successful. And if you can help the head of a household, you're helping a generation.